Today on In Case You Missed It, all 32, Carson Wentz is on the hunt. Ameer Abdullah introduces some troops to the dead fish.
He did some kind of celebration where he laid on the ground after he scored.
And the guys from Minnesota get a real-life Viking workout. In Case You Missed It, all 32 starts right now. Welcome to another edition of In Case You Missed It, all 32, the only NFL show where all the videos are created by the teams themselves. Today, we start with one of the favorites to win this year's MVP, Carson Wentz. He's got the Eagles in the hunt for their first ever Super Bowl title, but off the field, he and his dogs are hunting for something else entirely.
Good boy. Bring it here, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Come on, buddy. In the training process for these dogs, I mean, Henley's 4.5. Jersey over here, he's now 6.5 months old, so it's a process. Hopefully this winter he'll be out there hunting, but one day they'll be great. The next day they won't do anything you ask them to do, and you just gotta keep it fun for them, because the last thing you want to do is turn them off to it. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. I'd give you a treat if I had one. There's a lot that goes into it. Like with Henley, I trained her when I was in college, and she does a good job. I didn't really know what the heck I was doing when I was training her. She was my first dog. I had just gotten into hunting, really. And so I've learned a lot from being with her now for a long time, and how to hopefully train Jersey to be better. But you kind of just start from ground up. You know, you start training them with simple stuff like come and stay, and just make sure they're obedient with all the small things, because all of that, if they can't do that stuff just simply inside, out here it's pointless. Like, they got to respect you and be obedient in everything they do in order for them to be obedient in the field.
Joined now by Eagles mascot Swoop. Swoop, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Fair enough. Who do you think is going to win MVP? How do you feel about Wentz hunting birds in his free time?
This is Jeff from the Kids Club. Who's your best friend on the team?
Good question. Ryan, Khalil, and Luke. Those guys I spend a lot of time with, and we hang out a lot here and away, so probably those guys.
I interviewed Luke.
You interviewed Luke?
Yes.
What did you ask him? You remember?
What are you going to be when you grow up?
When I grow up? That's a good question. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to grow up. My wife would probably say I'm not. I got all my eggs in this football basket, so don't do that when you get older. Don't put all your eggs in the football basket. Go into broadcasting, okay? Great job. Awesome job. Thank you so much, and you look awesome.
That kid's tough, but fair. Next up, Green Bay, where Randall Cobb helped Jordy Nelson answer some of the most commonly Googled questions about himself.
Hi, I'm Jordy Nelson.
And I'm Randall Cobb. And this is the Packers autocomplete, what is it?
I'm really excited about this. Is Jordy Nelson, can't pull it off, a good golfer?
No, absolutely not.
Better than me.
I wish I was.
Why doesn't Jordy Nelson have Instagram? Everyone wants to know, Jordy. What's the reason?
Because I don't see the point.
You have Facebook, you have Twitter now.
I was forced to do that because there's fake accounts.
There's fake Twitter or Instagram accounts too. All right. Who is Jordy Nelson's locker next to?
My locker is in between Devontae Adams and Richard Rodgers.
What is Jordy Nelson like in real life? See, this is why you need Instagram. People want to know what you're like in real life.
No, social media is all fake life. That's why everyone has it. I can't answer that question. That's a question for you to answer. I don't know if I want you to, though.
What? Jordy's a great guy. He's really nice. He's a very nice person.
Thank you.
where is Jordy Nelson
Going
now?
I am in the interview room in the undergrounds of Landville Field.
Very literal.
Kind of an interesting spot.
I like it.
Now, you just heard Jordy Nelson's answers. If you want to learn about Randall Cobb's love of dogs and cooking skills, check out the rest of the video on Packers.com. Or, just Google it.
Came in August to my sister's wedding, and since I was in town, they had a practice, a training camp practice, so we decided to go. And I saw the team, and I decided to get some tickets to a game because I wanted to see Drew and Sean before anything happened when they wasn't a part of the Saints anymore. So this the tickets we got, and everything turned out how it was supposed to. I had envisioned it like in the first half that if it happened, I would try to make it down. But with so many people leaving, with the score being what it was, all kind of seats opened up. So I was actually there when it actually happened. I didn't have to go anywhere. The ball came to me. Kamara broke to the end zone. I broke down. He threw the ball up, 2 tips, and she's all mine. Well, I got the ball, caught it, and ran straight up the stairs to where my family was, because I didn't want nobody else to have it. So after I realized it was mine, I went back down and enjoyed the overtime win.
I'm not sure what you call that dance move, but I like it. Now we turn from New Orleans all the way to Iceland, where the Minnesota Vikings worked out with some real-life Vikings. Keep an eye out for the Game of Thrones cameo.
The National Football League is home to some of the greatest athletes in the world. Precise reflexes, world-class speed, and superhuman strength are attributes found on every NFL roster. But the gridiron isn't the only place to look for these athletes. Vikings discovered that firsthand when they visited the island country of Iceland this off-season.
My name is Abdullah and I'm from Iceland, Reykjavík.
Stefán Sóli Pétursson, I'm from Reykjavík, Iceland.
My name is Rúnar Geirmundsson. I'm from the west part of Iceland, the Western Peninsula.
Iceland is home to some of the biggest, strongest humans on the planet.
We are a small nation in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, so we want to prove ourselves, to the world.
Okay, guys, you finally met someone your size.
Yeah, you're way bigger than that.
This is the largest number in the house.
That's the lightest number in the house?
Yeah. Bend your knees. Easy. Oh, appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you, man. Do you think it will hit me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Think you get shoulder pads under there?
So what do we do?
Here, you go ahead.
They're really similar to like the top athletes here. They got the height, and they got the strength and the explosiveness.
Prior to the game against Green Bay, Thor and Stefan returned to pay a visit to their friends in Minnesota. Upon their arrival, the equipment staff was ready to get Thor suited up.
You want to get outfitted?
Definitely.
Yeah, good luck to us, huh?
Ready.
You're ready.
How are you feeling? Feeling good?
I can beat you in the wrestling match.
Definitely.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
On Sunday, the Vikings of Iceland made their way to US Bank Stadium to support their friends, the Vikings of Minnesota.
Welcome back to In Case You Missed It All 32, your home for the best NFL digital videos you might have missed over the last month. Like this video of the final moments of the Georgia Dome as it came down on November 20th. It only took 12 seconds to take down the building. The Georgia Dome was home to 2 Super Bowls, the 1996 Olympics, and 3 NCAA Final Fours. And now, as a Georgia girl, I kind of miss it. Maybe let's just put it back together. That's much better. Now, during Week 13, the NFL held its annual My Cause, My Cleats initiative, where players wore very cool customized cleats to raise awareness for the causes they care most about. Here's a look at some of the highlights.
I think it makes you see the bigger picture in life for sure, and allows you to see what kind of platform we have and what kind of impact we can have, but in turn, how rewarding some of these experiences are.
Ooh, okay. All right. This is me right here. Hey, these fire, bro. Like, yeah. Look at this. Look at that. These are incredible, man. This is Extra Life. They start these fundraisers where guys can play games online, pretty much just raise money for these kids who have cancer or are in need. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity to kind of bridge the gap between gaming and football.
So this is American Cancer Society. My grandmother had ovarian cancer. Okay. So that's what we're doing. We supporting her.
I think it's an awesome opportunity to let guys show things that they're heartfelt about. I think it's the opportunity for us to get to be individuals and people see us as humans and what we really love to do and not just as athletes and people with a helmet on.
My cause is the Westport Homes Boys and Girls Club. It means so much to me. I adopted it a few years ago, and these are my cleats. It was the obvious choice for my cause, my cleats, because I grew up in a boys club, Boys Club St. Louis. It was a place for me where I can go, have fun with my friends, be safe and go after school and just be a kid. So it was very fun for me, and this group, it's kind of the same place for them. It's a safe haven for them to get off the streets and do well in school and just get their homework done and just be a kid. So I definitely want to give back to them, and what better way than just having them on my cleats and just supporting them any way I can.
I went into the Marine Corps in February of 1993. I retired in February 2014. And I've been all over the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the tunnel zone.
I've always wanted to help people, and I think that started with being born and raised here. Of all the places I've lived in the world, this place is the only place that's ever felt like home.
Today, the Buffalo Bills would like to surprise Master Sergeant James Cosma with a service dog being presented by Bills owner Terry Pagula.
James has been on a waiting list for 22 months, and Paws of War was reached out to. They train these dogs for service members, providing the healing leash to the veteran that has gone to war and has come home.
Well, first of all, you turn around and it's Mr. Pagula, and it's like, wait, whoa. To be able to meet him and for him to present it like the way that it did, it was definitely a moment that I'll never forget. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The dogs that they train to become service dogs are rescued from kill shelters, and if they did not come in and intercede, those dogs would either be euthanized or beaten, abused, and left to die.
I love pit bulls because they're easily misunderstood. After I retired and went to college, I kind of felt the same way. That's how everyone views them, so it's a perfect fit. I mean, sometimes the stars just line up perfectly and things are just meant to be, and I think that this situation is definitely one of those moments.
That was probably one of my favorite videos of the entire month. Next up, we head to Detroit, where Lions running back Ameer Abdullah salutes the troops in his own way by beating them in video games.
What do you think of Detroit getting a team?
No, I'm excited.
So, same.
Well, Mason, he's a guy, he's very ambitious. For one, he challenged me to FIFA.
I played FIFA twice. Had I known this was your thing, I would have rented it a couple days ago.
A couple days ago?
And just rehearse, practice. I'm 24 years old and I played FIFA twice, but it's Ameer, so in that moment, yeah, I play FIFA.
Let's go.
All right, before we go any further, are we sure this is on two-player?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
Because I'm not this good. It took me a solid 3 minutes to figure out how the controls worked.
I don't think it is.
I was just going like this because you're filming. And I wanted to
and I just wanted to play it for as long as I could.
See, I don't think you're connected to the Xbox.
Okay.
Getting to know the soldiers and supporting them and respecting them. I have family that's in that are in the Navy, and I respect them for defending our country and, you know, for things that we take for granted sometimes. That they're out there defending us and they're far from their families, but we're close.
I've always wanted to be a part of something that's big, and when I found out the National Guard helps both your country and your community and your state, that's something I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to challenge myself. And I've been an officer now for 3 years, and I love what I do. I love my guys, and when I'm not doing that, I work for Quicken Loans right here downtown.
I love to meet people. I feel like every person that you come in contact with has an opportunity to teach you something that you didn't know before. Oh, dead fish?
He did some kind of celebration where he laid on the ground after he scored. It's a dead fish.
The dead fish is something that I've really taken and owned since my college years of winning so many games of FIFA. Is it safe?
Yeah, you can
Sorry.
You can come up. You can come up.
It was kind of showboaty. I feel bad about it now because I beat him pretty good. He was a kind-hearted guy. He really wanted to get to know me, so that was a genuine connection that I appreciated.
Welcome back to In Case You Missed It, All 32. Next up, a video I found on the Saints website. It was actually shot in Canton, where Hall of Famer Morton Andersen gave some unsuspecting visitors a legendary tour. This is from the Pro Football Hall of Fame series, Undercover Bust.
Welcome. Thank you. Bob Summers. Nice to see you. Doing a little training video. He's trying to, you know, how I'm engaging. Might get fired before I get hired here. I'm going to start from the beginning, or from the end, which is this year's class, because you might have. Did you watch the enshrinement this year? I saw some. You saw some of it? Yeah. It was a good class. Yeah, it was. I don't know. Have you heard of it? Have you heard of this guy?
Morten Andersen.
I haven't heard of him.
He was the kicker for the Saints and the Chiefs and a bunch of them.
Jeez. I like this guy's mullet, you know? Yeah. He's got the business in the front and the party in the back. You ever thought about getting hair like that?
No.
I mean, Kevin's got a good mullet, but yeah, well, you know, I got a little bit. I don't have a lot, but I have a little bit.
Morten Andersen played for Michigan State.
He did?
Yeah. Kicker. In fact, I think he sells sorts of collegiate records, NCAA records for field goals.
I'm kind of surprised that he's in the Hall. Are you surprised he's in the Hall?
Not really, no. He was the all-time leading scorer, I think.
He was? I'm a little cold, yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You guys want to take a picture?
Sure.
Great. My name's Morten Andersen.
Seriously?
Morten Andersen, nice to see you.
You tricked me,
Little undercover bust.
You tricked me, didn't you?
A little undercover bust. Morten Andersen.
How you doing?
Are you kidding me?
It's funny because this morning he says, "I wonder if we'll see anyone famous up there."
Well, I don't know about
Wednesday
famous, but you got a new guy right here.
That was a dirty trick.
After watching that video, I absolutely had to talk to Morton, so I called him from my day job in the newsroom. We FaceTimed. Check it out. What were some of the best prank stories you've had from your playing days?
Well, lots of them, and some I probably can't really mention here, but Clay Matthews was one of my linebacker. I'm not the son, I'm talking about the dad. I'm dating myself now. Him and I we were going at it quite a bit. If I was running late for practice, he came in and did an elaborate big popper with confetti, and all kinds of fireworks went off in my locker room. And I had gotten him earlier with some hot bomb in his jock strap he didn't really appreciate. So, you know, give and
I'm sure
take.
that felt great. What was it like when you got that knock on the door?
I was hoping it wasn't going to be room service, and thank God it wasn't. There was Big Dave Baker, president of the Hall of Fame, on the other side, congratulating me, and all the waiting was over. It was worth it, and a little bit emotional. He had a nice velvet jacket I could cry on. It absorbed the tears right in there, and we were good to go.
You looked good in that gold jacket. Where do you keep it, and how often do you bust it out?
Well, it comes out when people, official Hall of Fame business. If I'm going to Europe next week for a big awards show, so I'll be wearing it there. I'll be wearing it during the Super Bowl week, of course, but it's special occasion type of garment. It's not something you're just sitting around in your basement drinking a glass of wine and smoking a cigar. Although, if I had an extra one, I might do that in it.
I think you should bust it out all the time. I'd be proud of it. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Hassan Reddick.
Hassan, H-A-A-S-A-N.
Hassan Reddick. Just spell the first name.
H-A-S-S-U-N. That ain't it?
Close.
That's close.
H-A-A-S-E-N.
H-A-S-S.
No S. No double
No
S.
S. No double S.
H-A-A-S-O-N. Jeez.
Do Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick. Hassan is H-A-A-S-O-N. Reddick, R-E-D-D-I-C-K.
Extra credit.
Thanks for watching. In case you missed it, I'm Taylor Bisciotti. B-I-S-C-I-O-T-T-I. No, not Biscotti. See you next month.